So here's a video for you to show you what these frauditors are really all about. You got this clown called Dab King who keeps coming in here trying to say somebody's a sheeple, sticking up for the police and so on, so on, so. So I'm going to show you a video of these burnouts who go around harassing the public and go around when they can't get a rise out of the employees. I'm going to show you from their own video. This is one of their latest videos. These are the only type of videos that they can make now because their little people are catching on to their little song and dance and what they're doing. So they go into places regardless if regardless if the employees tell them that they can or cannot record. They're only going in there to get a rise out of people. And this is a perfect example where this video I'm gonna show you. They went into a post office and nobody said anything to them at all. So they sat here and started harassing an older lady and like pointing the camera at her and just walking around and making sure she knew that they were recording her. And then she, of course, got offended by it and said, you know, get out of my face. Why are you sitting here with a camera in my face? These clowns don't know how to audit. When you audit, you go in there, do your business, and then you might have a camera on your chest or on your phone or whatever. You do your business, or you go in there to do some type of business, and that's when you see if they're going to deny you your rights or actually serve you like everybody else, and that is how they fail or pass the audit. But that's not what these little clowns do. These little troublemakers want to be constitutionalists, like this clown called Dab King. He's the same one. He'll comment on every video. I think he's probably the clown that got my Cooper channel terminated, which, again, it don't matter. Because all you people do when you mess with me like that is hype me up. And get me out of my shell and get me more hype because I was chilling because I had all that Cooper work already set in stone. But now that it's gone, your ass is about to be gone too. People are going to know about you. And they're going to know about what you're really doing to this country and how you're trying to be a bunch of fake-ass Americans, a bunch of fake-ass constitutionalists, a bunch of fake-ass First Amendment auditors, when all you are doing is terrorizing and harassing the public. Go get a real job.
Quit taking my photo.
I apologize, ma'am. I'm working on a video.
I don't care what you're working on.
So here's another one of these clowns. His name is Silence Boy. This guy goes into a restaurant where cops are on their lunch break eating and asks them, what's your name and badge number? You work for me. Just causing trouble and stirring trouble. But and like I said, these are people who think they're doing some kind of justice to our country. And a lot of them say they're trying to bridge the gap between the citizens and the police. When there ain't nothing, they're not doing anything but making a wider gap between us and the police. This guy goes and does this to people who are eating at restaurants on the table and on the sidewalk. I want you to watch this video and see what type of, first of all, what type of audit is this? Second of all, how is this bridging the gap between citizens and police? And third of all, why are these fake-ass wannabe Americans in our country trying out there doing us a service or a justice? Like Dab King, his clown behind. Look, check this.
Are you recording that? Huh? Are you recording our guest?
I found it. Ya sé, es lo que voy a check. I found it. Look, I found it. I found it.
It's probably been going on for a long time, but I'm kind of old school, so I'm not up to date what's trending and what's always going on in the world. But I've lately been watching this new thing where there are people who go around calling themselves auditors, and that they are protecting our First Amendment rights, free speech, free choice, freedom of the press, and all this stuff like that. And it sounds good. I'll mention the main people that I'm talking about. There's some guy named Silence Boy, which I'm still trying to figure out what that name means, because he talks an awful lot, and he's like he really is like a creeper and a poser. And he just, I mean, this guy goes, well, let me say the rest of them. Another one is a guy called Auditing America. And I just found out some guy, he's not really too big. His name is Universal TV or something like that. And then we have this one guy called Fake Mike Real News, where he goes around with like some kind of kitchen, what do you call it, an egg beater. It's called Demand, and I think his channel is called Demand the Truth, or Demand the Truth Now, or something like that. There's probably some other ones, but these are the main ones that I've seen. A lot of these guys, they're not out here doing this to really protect your freedom of speech or freedom of press or anything like that. They're doing it to get YouTube. I don't watch enough of them, and I've kind of had it, because for someone who really does care about the Constitution and really does care about other people's rights and freedoms and education, these guys are some of the biggest posers in the entire world. And like the Silence guy, the Silence Boy guy, or there's another one, Patrick News Now, or News Now Patrick, or something like that. They don't go out trying to protect your right, or, you know, what they do is they go out and try to do things to get a response so they can get a lot of views on YouTube, and they can get money. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy watching the stupidity, and I click on it just so I can do things like this, which is call them out. And I didn't think I was gonna ever have to do that, but I saw so much hypocrisy in these guys, and so much I mean, just some of the most despicable things, because you guys know that I'm all about keeping cops in line. And they even have some of the dumbest sheeple followers who think that these guys are really doing this for them. And they don't know anything about actual laws. And what I mean by, I'm not a bootlicker, but I like holding cops accountable. But I don't like when people go out and just harass a cop because they've had a bad experience with the cop. And they feel like whatever bad experience they had, whether they were right or wrong, or they were violated or not, whatever, they feel like and I think this is what a lot of their followers think too, or I think this is why they have a lot of followers, because they're in the same boat as these people. They just haven't went and picked up a camera and gone out here and done it, but they are spawning more idiots to go out here and pick up a camera and then just start going and talking crap to cops for no reason. Like this Silence Boy guy, he was just walking by a store one day, saw a bunch of cops sitting in there, goes in there with his camera, starts calling them pigs, starts calling them all this stuff. I mean, they're on a lunch break. And again, I'm not sticking up for cops or all cops. I'm just talking about, because you don't just go and pick on somebody because of, that's basically, in my eyes, it's some form of racism. Just like you don't want anybody picking on you because maybe you're Hispanic, or maybe you're white, or maybe you're black. You don't want anybody picking on you because of that. Picking on somebody just because they're a cop and you don't know them personally is basically the same thing. They're not all cops are bad. Might be a lot of them are bad, the majority of them are bad, but this guy, and then sometimes he'll even go to sidewalks where people are outside eating. They'll have like tables at, well, I don't know where he's from, but there's a place wherever he's from, you know, I think just about, they have it in my town, like downtown. They have like tables out on the side of the restaurant. It's like right there, kind of on the sidewalk. And he just goes and just puts his phone and just stares at people and expects somebody not to call the cops, and expects something. I mean, one time this guy did it, and there was a waitress that got tired of his crap, and she was walking by, and she did kind of swat at his camera. This clown called the cops on her. and said and then cops got there, and because he had it on videotape, the cops didn't even want to arrest the girl or press any charges because they knew it was ridiculous. He said, if she says sorry, I will, excuse me, I will forget it and won't press charges, whatever. I mean, it was, and then when this lady who was out here working, doing this thing, when she did that and had to actually come out there, that was man, this guy is such a coward for doing that. And it really boiled my blood to see that. And then if you go look in their comment boxes, you'll see all of their sheeple who think these guys are doing justice. But let me tell you something else, though. They're also cowards because they'll talk a big hype about going into a I put a video in the description box of this video just as an example with actually 3 of them, and one of them is the Universal guy, and one of them, the other one is Auditing America, and then the Man Truth Now guy. They all thought they were big and bad, and they went into this place, and the place had to make you take your temperature, and they had the little thing rule, and you know what rule I'm talking about, where you have to wear one of those things on your faces, which is another divide and conquer tactic. I heard some guy, there's a guy who audits all of them, or goes back and plays their audits, that I just discovered. He's pretty cool. He's got a accent that I just love. Like, it's like one of those New York type accents. I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but it's just a real deep accent. It sounds like somebody from up that way, or Chicago, or I don't know, I'm bad with naming the actual accent of the people, but I mean of different cities and stuff like that. But he goes around and he said something, because he goes through these guys' video, and he said something about the whole mask thing, about how this thing is dividing us as a country and so and so. But it's really not, it is, but what a lot of people don't understand is that was one of the things that it was meant to do, was divide us as a country. It didn't have anything to do with anybody's safety. I don't know why people are still thinking that, but I'm just going to show you. I don't know why. I just wanted to mention that, because I want you all to know that if you wear those things, I truly believe that that is your choice. But you have to understand the hypocrisy of somebody who says, I'm free to make this choice, to walk into this building and make this choice, but then turn around and say somebody else is not free to make the opposite choice, especially when a lot of you might not know this, but this is your own ignorance, and not trying to be mean. Ignorance just means you don't know something. There is no law. You cannot be arrested for it. There's nothing wrong with it. And there are other couples things that I can say about it, spreading and doing all this other stuff, but you know how YouTube is. So, but you can't really blame anybody for your ignorance. If you're just going to sit in front of your television set all day and let these people tell you what to believe, the only person that you really can blame for that is yourself. I mean, I'm sorry. I have starting to have a shorter and shorter patience for people who don't know things, but repeat what they heard on TV about but what they did with the mandates and with all this stuff. And even after, because I'm a real auditor, I didn't, even after I tried to, show people that was never a thing that they could actually do and demand somebody do that. People still believe that they can do it now, or they can do, it's just, oof. And, let me get back to the subject. What I mean by I'm a real auditor is when I was going to do my audits with the whole mask thing, it wasn't, I wasn't going in there looking for trouble. I went into Walmart and they totally disrespected me. And I noticed that they were ignoring me and treating all the other customers who had one on better. So before I went full blown on them on one of my lives, which is another thing, is ignorant. An ignorant person who doesn't know why I blew up on my first Walmart live doesn't know that before I blew up, because there was a live on my main channel where I blew up but let me tell you why. Because like I said, I'm a real auditor, and I went into about 4 or 5 Walmarts because I started noticing what I just told you, that I was getting treated different. I wanted to make sure. So I had a camera. This is when it was colder. So I had my phone in my pocket where you could actually see everything, because my pocket was like one of those outside jacket pockets, kind of like on your chest area, where they didn't know I was recording. It is like my phone was in there. But I went around for a couple months documenting the discrimination that was going on against me.
And it seemed to happen, well, it did happen at every single Walmart. So when I blew up on one of my lives, I said I was watching some managers or some employees. They were all serving people that came up with one on and just ignoring me. And I walked around them at the electronic center at least like 15 times. And then I pulled my camera out so that they could know that I was recording them while I was walking around them. Then they showed me some attention, and then I said, yeah, yes. He said, oh, can I help you, sir? I was like, yes, I've been going around documenting how your company likes to discriminate against massless shoppers. So, and I've been doing it for a couple months now, and I just want to know, this is my live, or I already said that a million times. I just want to know, can I get some service? And then when I put my phone on the counter and the employees all saw that I was live on YouTube, then they want to scatter and help me and so and so. So that was my thing. And then I went around to all businesses just to show people that I don't care if you want to wear one. This is one thing, because the way that I talk, people might think that I'm so against them and I hate them because they wear something. But the whole point of that was to show people that I am not against them, and that if you don't know the law, you shouldn't be telling somebody something is law just based on veto. Not true. They can't take your temperature. They can't, well, like actual legally, they can through their little policies or whatever, but they can't do any of that stuff. And my whole thing was to express to you guys, I don't understand how you call yourselves Americans and then sit here and deny us our rights to when we are in the right about something like that. So that was my little auditor story, or the whole reason why I did it. So matter of fact, I think that was, yeah, it had frustrated me so much that I was going through all this trouble. I mean, I was even going to Walmart and would go in there and ask them for something, and then they would say no, and then I would go literally right in the parking lot and call them and ask them if they had the same item, and they said yes. But anyway, so I just wanted to clear that up with you guys, let you know I'm not against you, but you have to understand there is no somebody has to do something because you want them to do something here in America, or because you think whatever you think about them doing, it's just ridiculous. And I don't understand how you can't see how ridiculous that is. It isn't me against you, or I'm an anti-masker or whatever like that, because I'm not. I'm just, I don't even want to say pro-freedom, because, you know, I'm just a true American. Let's put it like that. Who truly believes in freedom. And I feel like it's hypocrisy for some of the things that a lot of you guys are doing out there today. So it doesn't, so when I talk and I'm frustrated about that subject, it's because I went through a lot with it. And it seems like people still haven't learned. But anyway, so these auditors, they're so cowardly that even when they are in the right, like they'll go into, this is why I said you have to be willing to be arrested and fight out in court and make sure you document everything that happens to you whenever you do stuff like this. Or if you do anything, you're being denied, you have to document things from beginning to the end. Even if you got to keep a notebook. Friendly advice, not a lawyer, just saying. I was watching these guys. I've been watching them for the last couple of weeks now. That's why I haven't been, well, I've been posting a little bit, but not as much as usual, because I'm really waiting for my strikes to be up so I can go back to the Cooper channel. But I kind of just been chilling, man. Like, I was just drained and stuff. So I just, you know, got into watching all of them. And they would say things, you know, they just talk a big game. And they out there for the Constitution, and they all, I don't even think really they read it. I think they only read the First Amendment. That's it. And they've also, a lot of these guys are spinoffs from other people who started doing it. And then they figured out, you know, you could generate, depending on the title, depending on what happens in the video, you can generate a lot of views. But they go out looking for trouble. I mean, they'll go out at, who does an audit in the middle of the night in some random neighborhood? This is the Patrick guy. And with a flashlight and looks through people's cars and stuff like that, or shines it. You know what I'm saying? What neighborhood would not want to call the cops on you? This guy did this. Cops came out there. And they said they didn't have any, the cops didn't have any proof about them committing the crime. They couldn't ID them, but they did, because they had probable cause. Because probable cause means that any reasonable person, if they see somebody doing something, whatever the act they see they're doing, it's considered probable cause. Because if any reasonable person would look at that act and say this person is committing a crime, about to commit a crime, or something else, can't really remember the definition, but look it up. When you are looking through people's cars at night and going through with a flashlight and stuff, that is probable cause and suspicious activity right there, because that's what a lot of people do right before they're about to commit a crime. So, or if they're casing something to commit a crime. But these guys did it just to go out there and get a reaction so they could get views, get likes and stuff. And then they'll start asking their subscribers to bail them out. And they're already making money off the views and stuff, I think. And then I'll ask them to bail them out for their court fines. That's if any of them are really willing to go to court. Some of them will ask their subscribers because they weren't, they didn't think that they were really going to get arrested for something they did. And then their mouth got them in too much trouble. So when they did get arrested, they didn't have the money to pay the stuff. So they would go beg their subscribers or whatever. But when they are confronted, like if they go to a postal office or something like that, when they are actually confronted by the police, and this is what's so funny about these guys, a lot of the times they are actually right. And there's some of you probably listening now who know them or know of them. And when you go and watch them, you think that they're not right and they're not, you know, they're out of control. They're doing all these things that they're really not doing. Technically, they are right. But this is what makes them cowards, though. Even when they are right and they refuse the ID and stuff like that, once the cops get in their face or start grabbing them and telling them to put their hands behind their back and all this stuff, they fold up. That, like, in the audit that I'm going to put in the link that I'm going to put in the description box, you're going to see the opening of one of the guys is a big loudmouth, and he's like introducing, "What's up, y'all? I'm Fake Mike Real News," and stuff like that. He didn't say anything the whole time that they went into this place and audited it, even though they were in the right and stuff like that. Because these guys, again, are only in it for the YouTube fame and whatever they believe comes with it. So, my advice to the people out here who might run into some of these guys, not the people who they actually go in and audit. I don't know if anybody's going to hear this or whatever, but if you can, you know somebody who you think might end up in this situation and they're running into one of these clowns, the best way you can handle these clowns is don't say anything to them. Give them the silent treatment. Don't say not one word to them, because then they're going to go around and fish around. Like if they can't get a reaction out of the employees, I've seen it before. I've seen them do this. If they can't get a reaction out of an employee, they'll go around and start messing with the customers in the store and start like filming the customers and then start walking like circles around them and stuff and putting the camera on their face so they can get a reaction and get a problem. And they say, "Oh, she's a Karen and she's this and she's that." Or, I mean, they go to airports and just sit here and just like literally stand in front of somebody with their camera on them, like with their arms stretched out or on a stick, where the person, everybody and their mama has to know what they're recording because they're aiming it right at the person. They're not doing that to protect your rights, freedom, or to bring awareness to all of this stuff. They are doing it for people's reactions, for views, for money, for YouTube celebrity fame or whatever you want to call it. And my advice, that's why I say my advice to anybody, person, employees of places, or just customers of places. You give them power when you react and do all that stuff. Just ignore these clowns. Because if you don't ignore them, they're going to keep on saying what they can to get a rise out of you and get a rise out of you. And then they're going to post it on YouTube and say that, try to make you look bad. And even if you clown them or you made them look stupid, they're just going to edit the video so nobody even really knows what happens. That's why a lot of them don't go live, because if it goes wrong, they're not going to know what to do. And when they do go live, you know, it's just their little talks or whatever. They won't do it on audits. So, what else did I have to say about that? Because I hate saying all the stuff that I want to say in one of their comment sections, their stupid sheeple and all that stuff. So, like, that's why I like having this little talk show thing. So, because some people might not even know what the hell I'm talking about. But there's certain things when I see going on in the world, I have to get it off my chest. Because a lot of them, they take out the trash. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why my phone just popped up and said, "Take out the trash." Is that a text message? I don't even live in a house. How the hell am I taking out the trash? Yeah, that kind of threw me off. In the middle of my damn thought process and talking, that just threw me off. I said, what else I talking about? I was talking about the links in the description box. Mislead you. They're going to have you out here harassing cops for no reason, hating cops for no reason. I mean, cops do give you a reason. A lot of them give you a reason to hate them and stuff, but not all of them is what I'm saying. And they're going to have you out there doing more destruction to the Constitution than they are bringing awareness to the One Amendment. They can do all the other ones, but they're just out there doing that One Amendment. It's because they haven't read into it. They only know what they heard other YouTubers say that they've copied off of. So they know what to say if a cop says something, certain things. Like if a cop say you're free to go, then they'll say, oh, I'm free to stay. But I'm not saying that they're not. But I've heard the auditors who came out before them, that I've heard them say that way before these guys. And I truly believe they don't read at all. So the only thing they do is listen to, again, YouTube, instead of actually going and reading the Constitution or reading all the other things. Because, I mean, you can do audits involving a lot of the amendments. But these people are in it for themselves, is what I'm trying to say. Let's put it like that. They're not in it to educate you. They're not in it to bring awareness to something. They're not into any of the things. They're in it for the glory, for the attention, for the cult following. And I don't even know what to say about their misguided sheeple who actually believe these clowns and don't know nothing and think that they're all American and get in their little comment section and root them on and talk about how the employee was wrong or somebody else was wrong when these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, it's just pathetic. And then these are usually the ones who end up going out and trying to do the same thing and making things worse for, yeah, that's another thing. Not only they're making it worse for people out here just trying to enjoy themselves, they're helping to waste our taxpayers' dollars by having a cop come out to every single audit. And it's like every single day they have cops come out. They're wasting our money. They're wasting our time. And they're acting like it's all for us, but it's all about them. Is what I'm saying. For this youth around my general area, if not, is all hell's gonna break loose worse than it is now with all these shootings across the bridge and people fight gang wars and all this other stuff. It's just, I mean, they're talking about you can't go down. There's certain places you can't go, from what I heard anyway, wearing blue or wearing red, because it's just like a whole bunch of gang violence and, you know, shootings, and it's just ridiculous stuff that they need to get away from. And know that, you know, there's something bigger and better in life, and not just to be sitting, you know, like one of the old heads on the block 24/7, just looking at the old head and thinking, you know, this is all, that's going to be me one day, or this is the only life I'm going to have. Like, that's sad. Like Tupac said, the hate you give little infants F's everybody. That's thug life.